Have you ever heard a story that starts with a sick kid, a boring book, and a grandfather who just won't leave? Well, that's exactly how one of the greatest adventures of all time begins. Our story really kicks off on a farm with a beautiful, spirited girl named Buttercup and a quiet farmhand named Wesley. Every time she ordered him around, his only reply was, "As you wish." But what Buttercup eventually realized was that every time he said, "As you wish," what he really meant was, "I love you." And just as she figures this out and admits she loves him too, Wesley has to leave to seek his fortune across the sea, promising to return for her. Tragedy strikes when Wesley's ship is attacked by the infamous Dread Pirate Roberts, a pirate so feared that he's known for leaving no survivors. Believing Wesley is dead, a heartbroken Buttercup mourns for years, vowing never to love again. Time passes, and her unparalleled beauty catches the eye of the kingdom's ruler, the calculating and arrogant Prince Humperdinck. He decides he will marry her, and Buttercup, feeling she has nothing left to live for, reluctantly agrees to become his princess, but fate has other plans. While out for a ride, Buttercup is suddenly kidnapped by a very strange trio of outlaws. There's Vizzini, the brains of the operation, a short, conceited man who thinks he's the smartest person alive. Then there's Fezzik, a literal giant with the strength of 10 men but a heart as gentle as a lamb. And finally, we have Inigo Montoya, a Spanish swordsman driven by a single, lifelong quest to find the six-fingered man who murdered his father and say to him, "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." Their plan? To kill Princess Buttercup and frame a rival kingdom to start a war. It's all just business for them. As they make their escape by sea and then up the treacherous cliffs of insanity, they notice something unsettling. They're being followed. A mysterious man dressed entirely in black is pursuing them with impossible speed and determination. This sets the stage for a series of unforgettable showdowns. Vizzini, ever confident, tasks Inigo with handling the man in black. Inigo, a master fencer, engages him in a spectacular duel. It's a battle of equals, filled with brilliant swordplay, witty banter, and mutual respect. But the man in black is just a little bit better, and he spares Inigo's life, leaving him unconscious. Next up is Fezzik. Vizzini orders the giant to crush their pursuer. Fezzik, who prefers a fair fight, faces the man in black. But instead of a brawl, it becomes a battle of strategy. The man in black uses his agility and intelligence to overcome Fezzik's raw power, choking him into submission without causing permanent harm. Now, only Vizzini is left. The self-proclaimed genius challenges the man in black to a battle of wits, a deadly game involving 2 goblets of wine and a packet of odorless, tasteless poison. Vizzini spends minutes explaining his complex logic, certain he has outsmarted his opponent, only to drop dead after drinking his own wine. The man in black reveals he had poisoned both cups, having spent years building an immunity to the poison. Inconceivable. With her captors defeated, Buttercup is now alone with the mysterious man in black. He doesn't reveal his identity, and she, furious, accuses him of having no feelings. He taunts her about her love for Prince Humperdinck, and in her anger, she shoves him down a steep hill, shouting, "And you can die too, for all I care." As he tumbles, he cries out, "As you wish." The words echo in the air, and Buttercup's heart stops. She recognizes that phrase. It could only be him. She throws herself down the hill after him, and they are joyfully reunited. "It's Wesley, he's alive." He explains that he wasn't killed by the Dread Pirate Roberts. He became the Dread Pirate Roberts. The title was passed down to him, a clever way to build a fearsome reputation. But their happy reunion is short-lived. Prince Humperdinck and his soldiers are hot on their trail. To escape, Wesley and Buttercup must venture through the perilous fire swamp, a place filled with 3 terrifying dangers: flame spurts that shoot from the ground, lightning sand that can swallow you whole, and the rouses rodents of unusual size. Yes, they're real, and they're huge and vicious. After a harrowing fight, they make it through, only to be captured at the swamp's exit by Prince Humperdinck himself. Buttercup, desperate to save Wesley's life, strikes a deal. She shall return. and marry the prince if he promises to take Wesley back to his ship. Humperdinck agrees, but he's a liar. Instead of being freed, Wesley is taken to a secret dungeon known as the Pit of Despair. There, he meets the true villain of our story, Count Ruggin, Prince Humperdinck's right-hand man. Ruggin is a cruel man with a particular interest in the study of pain. And you might have guessed it, he has 6 fingers on his right hand. He's the man Inigo has been hunting for his entire life. Ruggin connects Wesley to a terrible machine designed to suck the life out of him. Meanwhile, the wedding preparations are underway. But Inigo and Fezzik, now free, have a new mission. Inigo is lost without his revenge quest, and Fezzik feels responsible for getting them into this mess. They need a plan, and they realize the man in black is the only one smart enough to come up with one to storm the castle. They find Wesley, but it's too late. Count Ruggin has used the machine on him, and he appears to be dead. Desperate, Inigo and Fezzik take his body to the only person who might be able to help, a disgruntled, out-of-work magician named Miracle Max. After some hilarious negotiations involving a wheelbarrow and a chocolate-coated pill, Max determines that Wesley isn't all dead. He's only mostly dead. And mostly dead is slightly alive. Max brings him back, but Wesley is paralyzed and weak. Still, with his mind intact, he devises a brilliant, albeit crazy, plan to storm the castle on the wedding night. The final act is a whirlwind of action and emotion. The trio uses a wheelbarrow, a Holocaust cloak, and Fezzik's immense strength to terrify the castle guards into fleeing. Once inside, they split up. Inigo finally confronts his nemesis, Count Ruggin. Their duel is epic. Ruggin wounds Inigo badly, but as the Count turns to deliver the final blow, Inigo finds his strength, reciting his life's mantra over and over. "Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." He corners Ruggin, returns every scar the Count gave him, and finally fulfills his destiny. Meanwhile, Wesley, still barely able to stand, confronts Prince Humperdinck just as he's about to force Buttercup into marriage. In a masterclass of bluffing, Wesley challenges the cowardly prince not to a duel of strength, but to a duel to the pain, describing a grisly fate that terrifies Humperdinck into surrendering without a single sword swing. Wesley rises, revealing he was bluffing the whole time. True love has conquered all. As they escape, Fezzik finds 4 white horses, and our heroes Wesley, Buttercup, Inigo, and Fezzik ride off into the sunrise, a new band of adventurers. And back in the bedroom, the story ends. The grandson, who was so bored at the beginning, is now completely enchanted. He looks at his grandfather and asks if he'll come back tomorrow and read it to him again. The grandfather smiles and replies, "As you wish." And that's the story of The Princess Bride, A Tale of Fencing. Fighting, torture, revenge, giants, monsters, chases, escapes, true love, and miracles. It's a story that proves even the most cynical hearts can be won over by a good adventure. Thanks for watching. If you love classic stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe for more.